Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to explore some fascinating United States Roosevelt dimes with rich history and beautiful designs. In this video, we will take a closer look at the 1973D, 1977D, 1980P, and 1987D1 dime coins, learning about their history, design details, mint marks, special features, and importance for collectors. These small coins carry amazing stories about American heritage, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. So stay with us until the end to discover interesting facts about these historic American coins. If you enjoy coin collecting and learning about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and support our channel. Let's begin this exciting journey into the world of United States coins. The United States of America 1973 D1 dime is a historic and collectible American coin that represents an important period in the development of modern United States currency. This coin was produced at the Denver Mint and is part of the famous Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 as a tribute to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The 1973 D. Roosevelt dime carries the traditional inscriptions, United States of America, E PLURIBUS UNUM, Liberty, and In God We Trust, which reflect the values, history, and national identity of the United States. Although it is a small denomination coin, it contains a rich story of American craftsmanship, presidential history, and coin collecting tradition. The Roosevelt dime was created after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1945. Roosevelt was widely respected for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Because of his connection with the March of Dimes organization, which helped fight polio, the United States Mint selected his portrait for the new dime. The design was created by chief engraver John R. Sinek, and it became one of the most recognizable designs in American coin history. The 1973 D issue continues this famous design nearly 3 decades after its introduction. The obverse side of the 1973 D1 dime features a detailed portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. The artwork shows Roosevelt's profile with careful engraving details that demonstrate the skill of United States Mint craftsmen. Above the portrait is the word Liberty, representing the freedom and independence of the nation. On the left side of the portrait appears the motto, In God We Trust, while the year 1973 is placed at the bottom. The small D, mint mark below the neck, identifies that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The reverse side of the 1973 D Roosevelt dime contains a powerful design filled with American symbols. In the center is a torch representing liberty and enlightenment. On both sides of the torch are branches, an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. Around the design are the words United States of America and the national motto, E PLURIBUS UNUM, meaning out of many, one. At the bottom of the reverse is the denomination 1 dime, clearly showing that this coin has a value of 10 cents. The 1973 D Roosevelt dime was made from copper-nickel-clad metal, a composition that became standard for United States dimes after silver was removed from regular circulation coins in 1965. The coin consists of a copper core surrounded by outer layers of copper and nickel. It has a diameter of approximately 17.9 millimeters, weighs about 2.27 grams, and has a reeded edge. These technical features helped create a durable coin that could survive many years of use in everyday commerce. The Denver Mint produced a large number of 1973 D Roosevelt dimes, making this coin widely available to collectors. Because of its high production quantity, a normal circulated example is usually not considered rare. However, collectors still appreciate this coin because of its historical connection, attractive design, and place within the Roosevelt dime series. Coins that have been carefully preserved in excellent condition, especially those with strong original mint shine and sharp details, can be more desirable and valuable. The condition of a 1973 D1 dime plays an important role in determining its collectible interest. A coin that has heavy wear, scratches, or damage from circulation will generally have a lower value, while an uncirculated coin with clear details and original luster can attract more attention from collectors. Professional grading services examine factors such as the sharpness of Roosevelt's portrait, the quality of the lettering, the strength of the torch design, and the overall preservation of the coin. Some 1973 D. Roosevelt dimes may become more valuable if they contain unusual minting errors. Error coins are created when something unexpected happens during the manufacturing process at the mint. Examples of possible errors include doubled images, off-center strikes, missing details, or unusual markings. These coins are highly searched for because they are unique and provide collectors with an interesting look into the coin production process. The 1973 D. Roosevelt dime also reflects the history of the United States during the early 1970s. This was a period of major social, economic, and political changes in America. Coins from this era were used daily by millions of people for shopping, transportation, and business transactions. Today, these same coins serve as historical objects that connect collectors with the everyday life of people from that generation. The phrase E PLURIBUS UNUM on the coin represents the idea of unity among the many states and people of the United States. The words liberty and in God we trust continue a tradition that has appeared on American coins for many generations. These inscriptions give the coin a deeper meaning beyond its monetary value and make it a symbol of American heritage. For coin collectors, the 1973 D. Roosevelt dime is an excellent example of modern United States coinage. It is affordable, historically meaningful, and easy to recognize. Many collectors include it in Roosevelt dime collections, complete date-hand mint mark sets, or general collections of American coins. Its combination of presidential history, artistic design, and national symbolism makes it a memorable piece. The 1973 D1 dime may appear to be an ordinary coin, but every detail tells a story. From the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt to the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, the coin represents important American ideals of freedom, peace, and strength. It is a small piece of metal that carries decades of history and continues to interest collectors around the world. Today, the 1973 D. Roosevelt dime remains a respected part of American numismatic history. Whether found in an old collection, a coin album, or everyday change, this coin provides a connection to the past and reminds us that even common coins can hold historical importance. The 1973 D1 dime is not only money, it is a piece of American culture, craftsmanship, and history preserved for future generations. The United States of America 1973 D1 dime is a remarkable example of modern American coinage and an important piece for collectors who appreciate the history, design, and craftsmanship behind United States coins. This coin was minted at the Denver Mint and belongs to the famous Roosevelt dime series, which has been produced for many decades and remains one of the most recognized coin series in American numismatic history. The 1973 D. Roosevelt dime carries the traditional words United States of America, E PLURIBUS UNUM, Liberty, and in God we trust, which connect this small coin to the larger story of American values, national pride, and historical traditions. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946, following the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1945. Roosevelt was one of the most influential presidents in American history, leading the country through the difficult years of the Great Depression and World War II. He was also strongly connected with the March of Dimes campaign, which helped raise awareness and funds to fight polio. Because of his contributions to the nation and his connection with this important cause, the United States Mint decided to honor him by placing his portrait on the dime. The 1973 D. Roosevelt dime continues this tribute and preserves his legacy on American currency. The design of the Roosevelt dime was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. The obverse side of the 1973 D coin displays a detailed left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The engraving captures Roosevelt's facial features with careful attention to detail, showing the artistic ability of the Mint engravers. Above the portrait appears the word liberty, symbolizing the freedom and independence that are central to the identity of the United States. The phrase, "In God we trust," appears near the lower left side of the portrait, while the date, 1973, is placed at the bottom. Below Roosevelt's neck is the small letter D, identifying that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint played an important role in producing United States coins during the 20th century. Coins with the D mint mark are highly recognized by collectors because the mint location can affect the historical interest and collecting value of a coin. The 1973 D. Roosevelt dime is an example of the large-scale coin production that took place during this era to provide enough currency for millions of Americans using coins in daily transactions. The reverse side of the 1973 D1 dime contains a meaningful design filled with national symbols. The center of the coin features a burning torch, which represents liberty, knowledge, and enlightenment. Beside the torch are an olive branch and an oak branch. The olive branch represents peace, while the oak branch represents strength, independence, and courage. Around these symbols are the inscriptions, United States of America and E PLURIBUS UNUM. The phrase E PLURIBUS UNUM translates to out of many one, representing the unity of the American people and states. At the bottom of the reverse is the denomination 1 dime, confirming the coin's 10-cent value. The 1973 D1 dime is a reminder that even ordinary coins can preserve important stories. This small coin represents the artistic work of the United States Mint, the memory of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the history of American society during the 1970s. It shows how coins can connect generations by carrying symbols, names, and ideas from the past into the present. The United States of America 1977 D1 dime is an important and interesting coin from the famous Roosevelt dime series, representing a significant period in modern American coin history. This coin was produced at the Denver Mint and carries the traditional inscriptions, United States of America, E PLURIBUS UNUM, Liberty, and In God we Trust. Although the dime is a small denomination coin, the 1977 D. Roosevelt dime contains a rich story connected with American history, presidential honor, national symbols, and the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. For collectors around the world, this coin remains a fascinating example of late 20th century American currency and a meaningful addition to Roosevelt dime collections. The Roosevelt dime series was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt after his passing in 1945. Franklin D. Roosevelt was the 32nd President of the United States and played a major role during some of the most challenging times in American history. He guided the country through the Great Depression and World War II, leaving a lasting impact on the nation. Roosevelt was also closely connected with the March of Dimes campaign, an organization that helped fight polio and support medical research. Because of his leadership and his connection with this important cause, his portrait was chosen for the dime, creating one of the most famous coin designs in United States history. The 1977 D. Roosevelt 1 dime was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small letter D mint mark located on the obverse side of the coin. The Denver Mint has been an important part of American coin production for many generations, producing coins that circulated throughout the United States. The mint mark is an important feature for collectors because it helps identify where the coin was made and allows collectors to build complete collections containing different dates and mint locations. The obverse side of the 1977 D1 dime features a detailed portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. This design was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. The portrait shows Roosevelt with carefully engraved details that represent the artistic skill of American coin designers. Above the portrait is the word liberty, symbolizing freedom and independence. The phrase "In God We Trust" appears near the left side of the portrait, while the date, 1977, is placed at the bottom. Below Roosevelt's neck is the D mint mark, confirming that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The reverse side of the 1977 D Roosevelt dime contains a beautiful and meaningful design filled with American symbols. In the center of the coin is a burning torch, representing liberty, knowledge, and enlightenment. On each side of the torch are branches with special meanings. The olive branch represents peace, while the oak branch represents strength, courage, and independence. Around the design are the inscriptions United States of America and E PLURIBUS UNUM. The phrase E PLURIBUS UNUM means out of many one, representing unity among the people and states of the United States. At the bottom of the reverse is the denomination 1 dime, showing that the coin has a value of 10 cents. The 1977 D Roosevelt dime was made from copper-nickel-clad material, which was used for regular United States dimes after silver was removed from circulation coins in 1965. The coin contains a copper core surrounded by outer layers of copper and nickel. This composition made the coin durable and suitable for everyday use. It has a diameter of approximately 17.9 millimeters, weighs about 2.27 grams, and features a reeded edge with small grooves around the outside. These grooves were traditionally used as a security feature and also added to the classic appearance of American coins. During 1977, the United States was celebrating important moments in its history and experiencing social and economic changes. The 1977 D. Roosevelt dime was used by millions of Americans in daily transactions. These coins were carried in pockets, used in stores, placed in cash registers, and saved in personal collections. Today, these coins provide collectors with a connection to the everyday life of Americans during the late 1970s. The 1977 D. Roosevelt dime was produced in large quantities, making it a common coin in circulated condition. However, its collectible interest depends greatly on condition, quality, and special characteristics. A normal worn example may have little additional value above face value, but coins preserved in excellent condition can be more desirable. Collectors often search for examples with original mint shine, sharp design details, and minimal marks or damage. When examining a 1977 D. Roosevelt dime, collectors carefully study many details. They look at the condition of Franklin Roosevelt's portrait, the clarity of the lettering, the sharpness of the date and mint mark, and the details of the torch and branches on the reverse. A well-preserved coin with clear details and attractive surfaces is usually more appealing to collectors. Coins that have been stored carefully since production may become valuable additions to high-quality collections. Another interesting area of collecting involves error coins. During the complicated process of making millions of coins, mistakes can occasionally happen. A 1977 D. Roosevelt dime with a rare minting error can attract attention from collectors because it is different from normal examples. Possible errors may include doubled lettering, unusual strikes, missing design elements, or other production mistakes. These coins are valued because they provide a unique look into the coin-making process at the United States Mint. The Roosevelt dime series remains popular because of its combination of history, artistic design, and national symbolism. Each year and mint mark represents another chapter in the story of American coinage. The 1977 D issue is an important part of this series because it shows the continuation of a design that has remained familiar for generations. Collectors who build Roosevelt dime collections often include this coin as part of a complete set. The words and symbols on the 1977 D1 dime carry deep meanings. Liberty represents freedom and independence, two important ideas in American history. In God We Trust reflects a traditional motto found on United States currency. E PLURIBUS UNUM represents unity and the idea that many individuals and states come together as one nation. These inscriptions give the coin a meaning that goes beyond its monetary value. For beginners in coin collecting, the 1977 D Roosevelt dime is an excellent coin to study because it is affordable, recognizable, and historically meaningful. New collectors can learn about mint marks, coin designs, grading, and preservation by examining examples of this coin. Experienced collectors may search for high-grade examples, rare varieties, and special error coins to complete their collections. The 1977 D1 dime is a reminder that even common coins can preserve important stories. This small piece of metal represents the work of skilled engravers, the history of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the traditions of the United States Mint. It shows that coins are not only tools for trade, but also objects that record the history and values of a nation. In conclusion, the United States of America 1977 D. Roosevelt 1 dime is a valuable piece of American numismatic history. With its detailed portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, meaningful symbols on the reverse, and connection to the Denver Mint, this coin continues to interest collectors around the world. Whether found in circulation, preserved in a collection, or studied by coin enthusiasts, the 1977 D1 dime remains a small but important symbol of American heritage, craftsmanship, and history. The United States of America 1977 D1 dime is a fascinating and historically meaningful coin that represents an important chapter in the story of American currency. This coin was produced at the Denver Mint during the late 1970s and belongs to the famous Roosevelt dime series, which has remained one of the most popular and recognizable coin series in United States history. The coin features the traditional inscriptions, United States of America, E PLURIBUS UNUM, Liberty, and In God We Trust, which reflect the ideals, traditions, and identity of the United States. Although it has a small size and a face value of only 10 cents, the 1977 D. Roosevelt dime carries a much larger historical importance because it connects collectors with American leadership, artistic design, and the everyday life of people from the 1970s. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt was one of the most influential leaders in American history and served as the 32nd President of the United States. He guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, two events that shaped the future of the country and the world. His leadership, determination, and public service created a lasting legacy. Roosevelt was also connected to the March of Dimes campaign, which supported efforts to fight polio and improve medical research. Because of this connection and his contributions to the nation, his portrait was selected to appear on the dime, creating a lasting tribute that continues today. The 1977 D. Roosevelt 1 dime was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the major facilities of the United States Mint system. The small letter D on the coin identifies its origin and tells collectors that it was struck in Denver. Mint marks are an important part of coin collecting because they help separate coins made at different locations. Many collectors enjoy searching for coins from different mints because each mint can have its own historical importance and production story. The United States of America 1980 P1 dime is a historic American coin that was produced by the Philadelphia Mint and carries a special place in the long history of United States coinage. This coin features the famous Roosevelt dime design, which was first introduced in 1946 to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. The 1980 P dime was struck during a period when the United States was experiencing major economic and social changes, making it an interesting piece for collectors who appreciate modern American coins and historical currency. The coin carries the inscriptions United States of America, E PLURIBUS UNUM, Liberty, and In God We Trust, representing the traditions, values, and national identity of the United States. The obverse side of the 1980 P Roosevelt dime shows a detailed portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. The design was created by chief engraver John R. Sinek and includes the words Liberty above Roosevelt's head, In God We Trust near the lower left side, and the year 1980 at the bottom. The P mint mark below the portrait identifies that this coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. Beginning in 1980, Philadelphia Mint coins started receiving the P mint mark, making the 1980 P Roosevelt dime an important issue because it was among the first regular United States coins from Philadelphia to display this mint mark. The reverse side of the coin features a powerful symbol of American history and achievement. It displays a torch in the center representing liberty, surrounded by an olive branch symbolizing peace, and an oak branch representing strength and independence. The inscriptions, United States of America, and E PLURIBUS UNUM, appear around the design, while one dime is written at the bottom to show the denomination of the coin. The reverse design reflects the ideals and principles associated with the United States and continues the tradition of meaningful artwork on American coins. The 1980 P Roosevelt dime is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of a pure copper core with layers of copper and nickel on the outside. It has a diameter of approximately 17.9 millimeters and a weight of about 2.27 grams. The coin has a reeded edge, which was designed to prevent counterfeiting and add security to the denomination. Although it is a small coin in size, its detailed design and historical background make it a valuable part of many coin collections. Millions of 1980 P Roosevelt dimes were produced, so the coin is generally considered common in circulated condition. However, coins found in excellent condition, with sharp details, original mint luster, or certified high grades can attract more interest from collectors. Special examples such as proof-like pieces, error coins, or coins with unusual minting characteristics may carry additional value because collectors often search for unique varieties and rare mistakes. The value of a 1980 P Roosevelt dime depends on several factors, including condition, preservation, rarity, and collector demand. A normal circulated example usually has a value close to its face value, while uncirculated examples with strong original shine and high grading can be worth more. Collectors often examine the quality of Roosevelt's portrait, the clarity of the lettering, the condition of the torch and branches on the reverse, and the overall appearance of the coin before determining its collectible value. The 1980 P1 dime is not only a piece of currency, but also a small piece of American history. It represents the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the development of United States coin designs, and the continuation of traditional symbols used on American money. For coin collectors, history lovers, and beginners building a collection, this dime provides an opportunity to own an authentic example of late 20th century American coinage. The words E PLURIBUS UNUM, meaning out of many one, reflect the unity of the United States, while liberty and In God We Trust highlight important themes found throughout American coin history. The 1980 P Roosevelt dime remains a popular collectible because of its historical importance, recognizable design, and connection to one of America's most respected presidents. Whether found in everyday pocket change or preserved in a collection, this coin continues to tell a story about American heritage, craftsmanship, and the evolution of national currency. The United States of America 1980 P1 dime is a fascinating and historically important coin that represents a significant era in American numismatic history. This coin was produced by the Philadelphia Mint and belongs to the famous Roosevelt dime series, which has been one of the longest-running coin designs in the history of United States currency. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, as a tribute to his leadership, his dedication to the American people, and his important role during some of the most challenging periods in United States history. The 1980 P Roosevelt dime continues this tradition by carrying a design that honors the memory of President Roosevelt, while also representing the values and identity of the United States. The 1980 P dime is especially interesting because it was among the first Philadelphia Mint Roosevelt dimes to feature the P mint mark. Before 1980, coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint generally did not carry a mint mark. Starting in 1980, the Philadelphia Mint began placing the P mark on most of its regular coin issues, making this year a memorable transition in American coin production. The small letter P, located below the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, identifies the origin of this coin and gives collectors important information about where it was made. The obverse of the 1980 P1 dime displays a detailed portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. The design was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint, and it shows Roosevelt with carefully crafted details that reflect the artistic quality of American coin engraving. Around the portrait are the traditional inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1980. Every element of the design has meaning. Liberty represents the freedom and independence of the American nation, while In God We Trust reflects a phrase that has appeared on United States coins for generations. The reverse side of the coin presents one of the most recognizable designs in modern American coinage. At the center is a burning torch, which represents enlightenment, freedom, and the pursuit of knowledge. On either side of the torch are an olive branch and an oak branch. The olive branch represents peace, while the oak branch represents strength, courage, and independence. Above the design appears the inscription, United States of America, along with the national motto, E PLURIBUS UNUM, meaning out of many, one. At the bottom of the reverse is the denomination 1 dime, clearly identifying the value of the coin. The 1980 P Roosevelt dime was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. This material replaced the traditional silver composition that had been used in earlier American dimes before 1965. The coin contains a copper center surrounded by layers of copper and nickel, creating a durable and long-lasting coin suitable for everyday circulation. It has a diameter of approximately 17.9 millimeters, a weight of about 2.27 grams, and a reeded edge. The ridges along the edge were added as a security feature and also continue a traditional design element used on many United States coins. During 1980, the United States economy was facing major challenges, including inflation and changes in daily life for American citizens. Coins from this period represent an important chapter in modern American history. Although millions of Roosevelt dimes were produced, and the 1980 P issue is not considered a rare coin in normal condition, it remains popular among collectors because of its historical connection, attractive design, and importance as an early Philadelphia P mint-marked coin. Collectors who study the 1980 P Roosevelt dime often look carefully at several important features. The condition of the coin is one of the biggest factors in determining its collectible value. Coins with strong details, original mint shine, and minimal marks from circulation are more desirable. The quality of Roosevelt's hair details, the lettering around the coin, and the sharpness of the torch and branches on the reverse are all examined by collectors and professional coin graders. Some 1980 Roosevelt dimes may become more valuable if they contain unusual characteristics such as minting errors. Error coins can include doubled designs, missing details, off-center strikes, or other production mistakes. These unusual examples are often highly searched for by collectors because each error coin has a unique story about the minting process. However, normal circulated examples remain affordable and are excellent choices for beginners who want to start collecting United States coins. The Roosevelt dime series has remained popular for decades because it combines history, art, and national symbolism in a small piece of metal. The 1980 P1 dime is a perfect example of how even an everyday coin can preserve a moment in time. It connects collectors with the traditions of the United States Mint, the memory of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the continuing evolution of American money. The phrase E PLURIBUS UNUM on this coin carries a powerful message about unity, showing how many individuals and states come together to form one nation. The words liberty and in God we trust continue the long-standing tradition of placing important American ideals on currency. The United States of America 1987 D1 dime is an important and interesting coin from the Roosevelt dime series, representing a period of modern American coin production and history. This coin was minted at the Denver Mint and carries the famous inscriptions, United States of America, E PLURIBUS UNUM, Liberty, and In God We Trust. Although the dime is one of the smallest circulating coins in size, the 1987 D Roosevelt dime contains a rich story connected to American history, presidential heritage, artistic design, and the traditions of the United States Mint. For collectors, this coin is a valuable part of the Roosevelt dime series because of its historical importance and recognizable design. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946, shortly after the passing of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt served as the 32nd President of the United States and guided the country through some of its most difficult moments, including the Great Depression and World War II. He was also closely associated with the March of Dimes organization, which worked to fight polio and support medical research. Because of his contributions and his connection with this important cause, the United States Mint selected his portrait for the dime. The 1987 D Roosevelt dime continues this long tradition and keeps the memory of President Roosevelt alive through American coinage. The 1987 D1 dime was produced at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small letter D mint mark located on the obverse side of the coin. The Denver Mint has played a major role in United States coin production for more than a century, creating millions of coins used throughout the country. The D mint mark is an important feature for collectors because it tells the origin of the coin and helps identify different versions of the Roosevelt dime series. The obverse side of the 1987 D Roosevelt dime features a detailed portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. This design was created by chief engraver John R. Sinek and has remained one of the most recognizable portraits on American currency. The engraving shows Roosevelt's profile with carefully designed details that demonstrate the skill of United States Mint artists. Above the portrait is the word liberty, representing freedom and independence. The phrase "In God We Trust" appears on the left side of the portrait, while the date 1987 is located at the bottom. The D mint mark below Roosevelt's neck identifies the Denver Mint as the place of production. The reverse side of the coin contains a meaningful design filled with important American symbols. At the center is a burning torch, representing liberty, knowledge, and enlightenment. On each side of the torch are branches with special meanings. The olive branch represents peace, while the oak branch represents strength, courage, and independence. Around the design are the words United States of America and E PLURIBUS UNUM. The phrase E PLURIBUS UNUM, which means out of many one, represents unity among the people and states of the United States. At the bottom of the reverse is the inscription 1 dime, showing the coin's denomination. The 1987 D Roosevelt dime was made using copper-nickel clad composition, which became the standard material for United States dimes after silver was removed from regular circulation coins in 1965. The coin contains a copper core surrounded by layers of copper and nickel, giving it durability and resistance to damage. It has a diameter of approximately 17.9 millimeters, weighs about 2.27 grams, and has a reeded edge. The ridges along the edge are a traditional feature of American coins and were originally used as a security measure to prevent counterfeiting. During the late 1980s, the United States was experiencing changes in technology, business, and society. The 1987 D Roosevelt dime was used every day by millions of Americans in normal transactions. These coins traveled through stores, banks, homes, and communities, becoming part of everyday life. Today, collectors view these coins as small historical objects that represent the economy and culture of the time period in which they were produced. The 1987 D Roosevelt dime was produced in large quantities, so it is generally considered a common coin in circulated condition. However, its value and collector interest can increase depending on its condition, quality, and special features. Coins with strong details, original mint shine, and very little wear are more desirable among collectors. High-grade examples preserved in excellent condition may receive greater attention from people building complete Roosevelt dime collections. When examining a 1987 D Roosevelt dime, collectors look at many important details. They study the condition of Franklin Roosevelt's portrait, the sharpness of the lettering, the appearance of the torch and branches on the reverse, and the overall preservation of the coin's surface. A coin with clear designs and no major damage is usually considered more attractive. Professional coin graders may evaluate these characteristics and assign a grade that represents the quality of the coin. Some 1987 D Roosevelt dimes may become especially interesting if they contain minting errors. Errors happen when unusual events occur during the coin production process. Examples of possible errors include doubled lettering, doubled images, off-center strikes, missing details, or other unusual characteristics. Error coins are often highly valued by collectors because each one is unique and provides information about the process of coin manufacturing. The Roosevelt dime series is popular because it combines historical importance with beautiful and meaningful artwork. Every date and mint mark represents another chapter in the story of American coinage. The 1987 D issue is an important part of this series because it shows the continuation of a design that has remained familiar to generations of Americans. The words and symbols on the 1987 D1 dime carry deep historical meanings. Liberty represents the freedom that forms a foundation of the United States. In God We Trust reflects a phrase that has appeared on American money for many decades. E PLURIBUS UNUM expresses the idea of unity from many different people and states. These elements make the coin more than just a piece of currency. They make it a symbol of American identity and tradition. For new collectors, the 1987 D Roosevelt dime is an excellent coin to study and collect because it is affordable, easy to recognize, and connected to an important historical figure. Experienced collectors may search for perfect examples, rare errors, or complete collections containing every year and mint mark of the Roosevelt dime series. The coin's combination of history, design, and availability makes it a favorite among many coin enthusiasts. The 1987 D1 dime may seem like an ordinary coin, but it carries decades of history and craftsmanship. Every detail, from Roosevelt's portrait to the torch and branches on the reverse, represents the artistic work of the United States Mint and the values associated with the nation. It reminds collectors that even small coins can preserve important stories and connect people with the past. In conclusion, The United States of America 1987 D. Roosevelt 1 dime is a meaningful piece of American coinage history. It represents President Franklin D. Roosevelt's legacy, the skill of American engravers, and the traditions of the United States Mint. With its symbols of liberty, peace, strength, and unity, this coin remains a fascinating collectible. Whether found in circulation, saved in a collection, or studied by a coin enthusiast, the 1987 D. Roosevelt dime continues to represent a small but important part of America's rich numismatic heritage. The United States of America 1987 D1 dime is a remarkable example of modern United States coinage and a meaningful piece of American history. This coin was produced by the Denver Mint and belongs to the famous Roosevelt dime series, one of the longest-running and most recognizable coin series in the United States. The coin carries the important inscriptions United States of America, E PLURIBUS UNUM, Liberty, and In God We Trust, which connect it to the traditions, values, and identity of the American nation. Although the dime is a small denomination coin, it represents decades of history, skilled craftsmanship, and the continuation of a design created to honor one of America's most respected presidents, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 as a memorial coin honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death in 1945. Roosevelt served as the 32nd President of the United States and became known for guiding the nation through major historical events, including the Great Depression and World War II. His leadership had a lasting impact on American society, and his connection with the March of Dimes campaign made him a fitting choice for the dime. The campaign helped fight polio and supported medical research, creating a strong connection between Roosevelt and this denomination. The 1987 D. Roosevelt dime continues this tradition by carrying his image and preserving his memory on American currency. The 1987 D1 dime was struck at the Denver Mint, which is recognized by the D Mint mark found on the front of the coin. The Denver Mint has been an important part of United States coin production, creating coins that have circulated throughout the country and become part of everyday American life. The Mint mark provides collectors with information about where the coin was made and helps identify different issues within the Roosevelt dime series. Coins from different mints often become important parts of complete collections because collectors enjoy gathering examples from every production facility.